Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakdash, double honors to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone. Salutation to you, Archeum, pushing us words in sincerity and truth. This is your brother Yassan, back at you with another lesson. Will not edifying to the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. The parrot and them, get the parrot and them. Yeah. And this one here would be actually entitled, this one will actually be entitled, the unique way. There's only one way to be delivered from that destruction, right? And the destruction that I'm talking about is the nuclear missile, the second death, right? Because as the scriptures say, I'm gonna bring out this first off. Revelation 2:11, let him hear what the Spirit had said unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. And that second death is actually referring to the nuclear missiles, the earth being destroyed by fire. For example, the video that I just played, that basically just a look at the destruction of one nuclear bomb. And we know America is going to be blown with 200, I think it's 200 million nuclear warheads, right? So that right there is just the desolation of one nuclear warhead. So imagine 200 million, right? Bear with me, right? First Peter, believe it's Second Peter, correct? The book of Second Peter, chapter. Let's see, all right. Second Peter, all right. 2 and verses. We'll start at verse 6. Let's say, whereby the world that then was overflowed with water perished. Right? How's that at 5? For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the heavens were of old, right? And the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. Yeah, so a mass slaughter, mass death was brought forth through the flood and the great flood in the time of the days of Noah, whereby Noah and Noah's wife and his son's wife were saved. Only 8 souls were saved, right? So this time now, with 7, 2 Peter the 3rd chapter and the 7th verse, but the heavens and earth which are now, and that heaven, or that earth, well, that heaven going back into rulership, right? And who who is the earth given into right now? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. You know, the book of Job 9 and 24. So right now, Esau, Edom has the rulership. Right? So with they being the ones that are in rulership, as the scripture said, the earth going and pass away with a great noise. You know, the heaven will pass away with a great noise. And that great noise going back to the nuclear missiles. It's by the same word are kept. 2 Peter 3 and 7, but the heavens and earth which are now. So the rulership that we see now, run this world being ruled by the banking families, the DuPonts, the Rothschild, the Rockefellers. Their kingdom is now gonna come to our end. It's which are now by the same would are kept in store, reserved unto fire, against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. Right? Yeah. So it being reserved unto fire, and that fire going back into Isaiah 34 and 16. No, so Isaiah 50. Isaiah 54. Right, and 16. Behold, I have created the smith that blow the coals, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. And this is going into what? The scientists, you know, the nuclear scientists that make these nuclear bombs. So the Lord gave them the knowledge to be able to create these bombs and whatnot. Right? These nuclear missiles that bring forth mass destruction. So let's say that what? The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai created them that blow the coals. Right? So that them coals going back to the nuclear missiles, which that through the nuclear missiles that is what is gonna bring a great destruction, as it says in Malachi 4 and 1. Malachi 4 and 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wicked shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them root nor branch. And yeah, because as they see that desolation that I just played, as they see here, always as seen is fire and smoke. So just as how it erupted with that great dark mushroom cloud, it's gonna be so but on a much more higher frequency and level, as it says in Revelation, in 1 hour she shall be destroyed. You know, she desolation coming in 1 hour. Which talking about America. Right? It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And this is what the second death is about, the nuclear missiles. And throughout the prophecies, we know for sure that it's not only America would be hit with nuclear missiles, but other areas too, to bring forth that cleansing. And that the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Yeah. So with that being said, with that destruction, the only way, you know, for you to be delivered out of that is by what? It's through the chariots, the same so-called UFOs and whatnot they are speaking on right now. Right? The same so-called UFOs and whatnot. Right? These are the angels of the Lord. Right? Yeah. And via that is where salvation would come. Right? And why the scriptures say that to come up hither. Revelation 11 and 12, and they had heard a voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, which going back into a chariot, and their enemies beheld them. Yeah. And this is how they're gonna be delivered through that cloud. As it says Revelation 1 and 7. Lo, all eyes is gonna see him, even then that pay. Like Revelation 1 7, behold, he cometh with clouds. So these same clouds, which are the chariots of the Lord, the so-called UFOs, because they have a cloaking system that they could disguise themselves as clouds and whatnot. For example, in the time when we were in the wilderness, Exodus 14 and 20, and it came, verse 19, and the angel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them, and the pillar of cloud went before them, before their faces, and stood behind them, and that pillar of cloud going back to the same chariot, a massive chariot, and it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. So off of the same chariot we were delivered, and it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that one came not near to the other all the night. Yeah. So that is just how way the Lord delivered Israel in that time when they were being pursued by the Egyptians from Pharaoh at the time in the wilderness. Right? So that same cloud is referring to the chariots. Right? And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither, and they ascended up to the heaven in a cloud, the same chariots of the Lord, and their enemies beheld them. So this is going to be the only way whereby they're going to be able to be delivered out of a nuclear missile. Because where can you go? Right? Even all these bunkers and whatnot, the building in America, it will be destroyed. Because we know all those oil line and gas line and whatnot that run in the earth. Hey, when the nuclear missile hit, all of that is gonna, torch up and create mass explosions and earthquakes. Right? On the precept. First Thessalonians 1:17. I was at 16. It said, For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh, and the dead in Yahushua shall rise first. Then we which are yet alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. So, via what? The angel is going to take them up into the chariots. And we know flesh and blood can't enter into the kingdom, so they're going to be delivered through the Spirit, by the Spirit. Right? That is the way they're going to be delivered. Right? Another precept here. Let's see. Look at the book of Matthew 24. Let's see. Matthew 24 and 31. I'll read it too. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, that they should gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to another. Mark 13:27. And then shall he send his angel, and shall gather together the elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven. Yeah, so when the Lord come back with the angels, that is the way you're going to be delivered. pursuant to the Job 5 and 19, in the sixth trouble, going back into order, that time of destruction, the nuclear missile, Job 5:19, and he shall deliver thee in six trouble, thee in seven. There shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in a war from the power of the sword. Yeah, in a war from the power of the sword, we're gonna be delivered, right? Yeah, and yeah. So no evil gonna. Yeah, in the seven there shall no evil touch thee. So the seventh trumpet going into the destruction. The second that the nuclear missile, and as to the chariot, we're gonna be able to escape, right? As the scriptures say, enter thou into thy chamber, right? And that chamber is the chariots, because Isaiah 26:20, come up, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy door about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. And that indignation, going back to the Malachi 4:1, the earth being burnt as a burnt as an oven, the nuclear missile. So that is the only way they're gonna be able to escape out of that destruction. And it's only gonna be the elect. And shut thy door behind thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until that the indignation be overpast. So I hope this lesson was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Until the next Shalom.